You know, the holidays are right around the corner, and that means we're all clicking that Add to Cart button. But have you ever stopped to think about what happens after you click? There's this massive, complicated dance going on behind the scenes, and the stars of the show are the trucking carriers. So how on earth do they manage the insane pressure of the peak season rush? Well, let's get into it.
It really does feel like magic, doesn't it? You order something and a couple days later, poof, it's on your doorstep. But that journey's anything but simple. It's a super complex web of trucks, drivers, and dispatchers, all working through the single busiest, most demanding time of the entire year.
And here it is. This is the heart of the challenge. During the holidays, the amount of stuff that needs to be moved, the freight volume, it skyrockets by anywhere from 40 to 100%. I mean, just imagine your own workload suddenly doubling overnight. That's the reality for these trucking companies every single year, and it puts this unbelievable strain on their entire operation.
This whole period from about November to January actually has a name, the holiday delivery crunch. And it's called that because it's a perfect storm. You've got this massive increase in volume, deadlines that are getting tighter and tighter, and all kinds of unexpected disruptions all hitting at the same time. For carriers, getting through this is the ultimate test.
What's really fascinating is how all these pressures just stack on top of each other. You have the spikes you can kind of plan for, like Black Friday. But then you layer on the totally unpredictable stuff, like a sudden snowstorm or not having enough drivers available. It's just this constant battle against the clock, and sometimes even the weather itself.
So all that pressure, it has a way of finding every single weak spot in a company's operation. And if you're still relying on spreadsheets, phone calls, and manual planning, the old school way, the holiday crunch is exactly when those systems start to completely fall apart. Okay, so let's break down the 5 biggest hurdles that carriers have to clear. We're going to look at that huge surge in volume, those deadlines that you just can't miss, not having enough drivers, all the delays you can't see coming, and oh yeah, an absolute mountain of paperwork.
So first up, that massive volume. A dispatcher trying to manually assign hundreds of extra loads is kind of like playing Tetris on impossible mode. You just can't keep up. And what happens? You end up with the wrong loads on the wrong trucks sitting empty when they should be moving, and a ton of missed chances to make money.
And those deadlines, they are absolutely brutal. We all want our packages like yesterday, and retailers enforce that with really strict delivery windows. So a missed ETA, that's the estimated time of arrival, is not just a small oops. It can lead to big financial penalties, things called chargebacks, where they literally deduct fees, and it can even cost a carrier a major contract. The stakes are just incredibly high.
Then, of course, you've got the human factor. Drivers are people too, right? They deserve to take time off for the holidays with their families. But that means fewer of them are on the road right when they're needed most. This makes it absolutely critical that every single available driver is assigned the most efficient load possible, because you can't afford any wasted time or energy.
And of course, there's the one thing you can never control, the weather. A big snowstorm or holiday traffic can bring a critical shipment to a dead stop. And if you're working with a manual system, by the time you've figured out a new plan, that one delay has already created a domino effect, causing a dozen more problems down the line.
And finally, the paperwork. Oh, the paperwork. Every single shipment creates a long paper trail. Bills of lading, proofs of delivery, invoices. When volume doubles, that paperwork becomes an avalanche. It leads to errors, compliance headaches, and it seriously delays payments, which can absolutely crush a carrier's cash flow.
Okay, so we've seen the chaos. It's a lot. So what's the answer? Well, this is where technology steps in to save the day. It's a tool that can actually turn all that pressure into peak performance. And it's called a Transportation Management System, or TMS for short.
So what is a TMS? You can think of it as the digital brain of the entire trucking operation. It's this really smart software that's built to automate all the planning, give you a real-time map of where every single truck is at any moment, and give carriers the flexibility to adapt to problems on the fly.
And this is where it all clicks. For every single one of those challenges we just talked about, a TMS has a specific solution. Those crazy volume spikes, they're handled by smart automated dispatching. Those impossible deadlines, met with real-time tracking and automatic route optimization. And that avalanche of paperwork, it all gets digitized and automated. Problem? Meet solution.
And here's the proof right here in the numbers. The data shows that carriers who use a modern TMS are hitting an on-time delivery rate of 95% or even higher. Now think about that for a second. Even during the most chaotic, high-stakes season of the whole year, they are hitting their targets almost perfectly. That's just incredible.
So when you put it all together, this technology creates a huge shift in mindset. The holiday season stops being this terrifying threat that you just have to survive. Instead, it becomes a massive opportunity for growth that you can actually manage with precision and with control.
There's a quote from the source material that just nails it perfectly. It says, "A TMS enables carriers to move more freight with fewer errors and less stress." And that's the key, right? The goal isn't just to work harder, it's to work smarter. It's about helping carriers make more money, sure, but with fewer mistakes and a whole lot less stress on everyone involved.
I love this slide because it's such a simple, powerful way to see the difference. Before, it's just constant firefighting. You're just reacting to problems all day long, trying to keep your head above water. But after, it's controlled growth. It's proactive. You're in command of your operations, not the other way around.
Which brings us to the final question. With the right tools and the right technology in place, is that holiday pressure really an obstacle you have to get through? Or could it be your single biggest opportunity of the entire year? For the carriers who are ready to embrace this shift, the answer seems pretty clear.